What's going on? People broken Matrix back with another one. I found this article right here. This is promising right here. If anybody know anything about the Patriot Act, this really fucked us over right here. This article right here. This article right here shines a little hope. I would hope so anyway. After 20 years, it's time to repeal the Patriot Act and begin to dismantle the surveillance state. I fucking agree 1000%. Now, this article goes on to talk about how the FBI entrapped these guys, and let's just go ahead and dig into it instead of me trying to give y'all a synopsis or a quick summary on it. This guy said women should not be heard, not be seen. I thought this was strange. Muhammad said Muhammad should have trusted his instincts. Hussein was an FBI foreman sent to surveil and trap followers at the Newburgh, Moscow. With the FBI's resources, Hussein manufactured an ambitious terrorist plot to fire a Stinger missile at U.S. military planes and plant car bombs. He entrapped four black Muslim men, including a man with the prospect of free vacations, expensive cars, and $250,000 in cash. The four men were struck in extreme poverty, and one suffered from severe mental health issues. No actual weapons were acquired, let alone used. Yet in 2011, all four were sentenced to 25 years in prison, and the informant walked free. Ironic, ain't it? This October marks 20 years of the Patriot Act and more than 20 years of far too many accounts like that of the Newburgh Four. Over the last 2 decades, the U.S. government has built a vast network to police, surveil, and entrap people when no crimes have taken place. Go fucking figure. Just 6 weeks after the attacks of September 11th, yada yada yada, the Patriot Act vastly expanded the government's unchecked authority to spy on its citizens. The Patriot Act broadened the government's power to obtain an individual record held by third parties, including phone records, computer records, credit history, and banking history. It also allowed government agents to search private property without notice to the owner. So this is why I say this ties in it, because all of us been secretly placed on this FISA court, and I mean on this domestic terroristic watch list. We wasn't given a chance to face our accusers. They held this secret indictment or whatever the process was. It was kept from us. We were not notified. And this right here, that what I just read, is a prime example on how they're able to exit and enter our house when we're not here, because they're using these legal loopholes. It starts right here with this Patriot Act that needs to be dismantled and fucking destroyed. The FBI in many cases could issue national security letters and obtain such personal information without judicial approval, even under sections of the act that did require judicial authorization. The FBI just needed to specify that the request was related to a foreign intelligence investigation. No reasonable suspicion was required. That is just ridiculous. Of course, a program like this is going to get abused. Of course, a program like this is going to be used to sack vengeance. Of course, it's going to be misused. There's little to no oversight with this. They're telling you right now. I mean, you really have. We're not even given a heads up. We can't defend ourselves. We can't rebuttal their accusations. It's all a pyramid scheme. It's all a pyramid scheme. Look, their tactics range from spreading disinformation to inciting disorder between groups on the left. After various abusers were uncovered, congressional intelligence committees were established in the 1970s to provide oversight of intelligence agencies. In 1981, Executive Order 12333 instituted further limits on intelligence agencies and including guidelines meant to restrain abuses, which they totally abuse. This is out of the window of them. That goes to show they just walks all over the law. They just triumph over our constitutional rights like it's nothing. And over time broadly interpreted them to waking attempts at reform. Any limits that remained on FBI practices quickly fell away after the 9/11 attacks. A 2019 report from the Coalition for Civil Freedoms and Project Solemn found that the broader landscape of material support laws have been used to criminalize activities of a non-criminal nature, such as speech, association, charity, and peacemaking. Similarly, conspiracy laws have been manipulated to treat friendships and organizational memberships as criminal conspiracies, even if most groups were members were not involved in or aware of any criminal activity. In one such case, the government claimed that because a group of individuals knew each other, they must share a common ideology. Wow. Wow. So now what they're saying is if I'm hanging with a few friends and one of my friends believe in something else, another one believe in something else, then the one that they want to use to get at me that believes in something that they don't agree with, they're going to simply say that all us believe in that same ideology just to target the whole group. Isn't that something? No victims of entrapment in a terrorism case have successfully argued against the practice in court under the ready response standard developed after 9/11 injuries. Juries are told that a person is predisposed to engage in terrorism if they do not back out of the government manufactured and government-induced plots. The current standard fails to account for the fact that FBI informers in such cases are often manipulated people for months on end. The USA Freedom Act in 2015 ended the bulk collection of phone records under the Patriot Act, but the government is still collecting large swaths of private information. The Freedom Act authorized the NSA to operate a system that kept the bulk records in the hands of phone companies, but with judicial permission. The agencies may acquire suspects' records and those of everyone with whom he had been in contact with. Mm-mm-mm. So you see how this is just, they're literally just mocking anybody. They're literally just throwing anybody in this program. They are literally just throwing anybody in this program based off ideologies alone and just what? What is this all about? This shit is sad. With only 11 court orders, the NSA gathered 434 million phone and text message records, a key section of the Patriot Act, which allows the government to require third parties to hand over records, technically expired March 2020, but the government may still use it for investigations that were already underway in 2020 or for any new investigations or offenses of potential offenses to occur before then. Mass surveillance strategies have also been used by local police departments which operate under different accountability structures. One of the most notorious examples was in New York City, where the NYPD Intelligence Department created the demographic unit to systematically map out spy on immigrants from at least 27 different Muslim majority countries throughout the city. The program did not detect a single terror plot, but did succeed in creating a culture of fear, discrimination, and stigmatization of Muslim communities. The New York program was not isolated or unique. Though cross-agencies information sharing networks, communities of color more broadly have been targeted by the same infrastructures. For example, 80 fusion centers. Here go to fusion centers. See this is all gang stalking. This is what we deal with. This is what we deal with. 80 fusion centers across the country share intelligence net information which each other and with local and state law enforcement agencies and federal intelligence agencies. This network has come under fire for targeting Black Lives Matter organizers, fuck Black Lives Matter, and events as what? Being as an online mediation series. 2 decades after 9/11, the passage of the Patriot Act, one of the most deeply flawed acts legislative overreach in U.S. history, we need to begin dismantling the institution and legal system that allow for mass surveillance and criminalization of Muslims, black, and immigrant communities. As a starting point, the laws which passed in the wake of 9/11, including the Patriot Act, need to be immediately repealed. And we must continue to work towards abolishing of the policing, entrapment, and surveillance structures that target our communities. This is it. They're fully aware of what they're doing. They're fully aware that they're misusing all of this technology, all of these programs, and everything. They are fully aware, but yet they still do it and try to keep this away from the public knowing. This shit is some of the most corrupt shit as I have ever seen in my life. I mean, literally, I have never seen something so disgusting a day in my life. So hopefully the Patriot Act would be repealed and things would lighten up. Oh, I didn't even see that they spoke on COINTELPRO. They pretty sure they know the tactics range from spreading disinformation and inciting disorder between groups. I already read that. I missed the COINTELPRO part. Mm-mm-mm. So I'm really gonna stay up on top of this article and finish doing research, and hopefully we get hopefully we get somewhere with this. After 9/11, Congress gave the government unchecked authority to spy on its own people. It's been a disaster. Oh, have it been? I can't wait till this shit crash in their face. So now all of a sudden, there's no more terrorists. The Taliban is no longer considered terrorists. Now they're friends and they're advocating for humanitarian rights, and the U.S. is backing them. So they brought the fight right on the U.S. soil. So they are turning all of these citizens, basically who speak out against corruption and things of that nature. They're turning all of us into so-called terrorists. So we have the actual terrorists in control of the terroristic watch list. Yeah, fucking weirdos.